Hello, BookTube. I'd like to start the first bookshelf tour with this bookshelf. It's a mix of various genres, book sets that wouldn't fit anywhere else. Maybe the book was too big, set too large, the genre shelves already full, and I'm just waiting to expand. So I'll go through these individually. I'll start with the Letterpress Shakespeare. I'll probably do some of these old Harvard classics with newer versions of the Harvard classics so we can compare them. Quite a few Folio Society books in here, but there's other things. This is the Letterpress Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night's Dream by the Folio Society. Comes in this box. Move it over here a little bit. The volumes are nested in nicely. There's a cardboard top here. There's the volume itself, the letterpress volume. Goatskin. Hand marbling on the cover. This is the Oxford Shakespeare, Midsummer Night's Dream. Edited by Peter Holland, Oxford University Press. We'll put that back in its home. There's the title page. William Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night's Dream, edited by Peter Holland, London, the Folio Society, 2008. The Letterpress Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night's Dream, typeset in monotype Baskerville, printed by hand and eye letterpress. Bound by hand, Nigerian goatskin leather and marble paper by Anne Muir. The edition is limited to 3,750 numbered copies for sale to members of the Folio Society and 25 lettered copies which are not for sale. This is copy E, obviously one of the ones that's not for sale. There's a story behind that. Persons of the play. Page of typeset. Put that back in its home. So a piece of paper here to cover the ink and E. Protect it. Set that back in the spot. So the story behind the Letterpress Shakespeare and the E as opposed to the numbered copies that most members would have had available to them started in a contest. Folio Society runs a contest, I believe, every month, and I was either the second or third person to win that contest. But when the book arrived at my house, I was living in Florida at the time, I wasn't aware that I had won, or to tell you the truth, even remembered that I'd entered. It was a computer thing. And the postman knocked on my door, pretty excited. He had a plasticky burlap type bag with a crown and Her Majesty's Postal Service or something along those lines printed on it, and I was pretty excited too. I'd never seen anything like that. We talked about it for a few minutes. I brought it inside, opened up the bag, and there was a box. Opened up the box, and there was a Letterpress Shakespeare, which I had never ordered. So I looked through it, really liked it. Realized it probably cost a little more than I was spending on books. I called my wife and told her about it and told her how exciting it was to see. And she heard the word expensive and said, we're going to have to send it back. So disappointed, but I reboxed it. And then she calls me back a little while later and she goes, you know, I entered you in one of the Folio Society contests. That was just part of checking on our bill with them or whatever. And I went back to the website, and sure enough, it had me listed as having won the volume. So it was very exciting, and it's actually one of my treasured pieces. Now we'll move on to some other Folio Society books. As you can see right behind me on the top shelf there is a long line of blue books, and those are the Patrick O'Brian Aubrey Maturin series. Maturin, excuse me. Those took a while to collect. Patrick O'Brian and sea stories and all that are my kind of thing. So I waited to read Patrick O'Brian until I got this set. So I am reading the second volume right now. Very much enjoyed the first. We'll take a closer look at them. So here's the first volume of Patrick O'Brian's Aubrey Maturin Sea Adventures. Master and Commander, Folio Society, with a slipcase bound in buckram. I always try to do this with these slipcases. They build up air pressure, and you can actually break the box or damage the book if you don't just slide it out like that. Here's the cover. One of the first things I like in these types of books, see if I can get that up there for you, is I like the map and papers. Makes it easy to follow the setting of the story. A lot of this takes place in the Mediterranean, as you can see. Right here is Port Mahon in Minorca. This is where Maturin and Aubrey meet. A lot of this adventure is based on the real-life exploits of Lord Cochrane, who's one of the great sea fighters in history. The volume's illustrated, color illustrations, line drawings throughout. Let me see if I can get this up here for you to see. Some example here. It's actually an old chart of Port Mahon, where some of the action takes place. So, yeah, wonderful book. I'm currently reading the second volume in the series, Post Captain. See it right there. You notice here a fiddle. If you look at the volumes behind me, you'll notice that these symbols appear on all the books. The first book, it was a sextant. This one, the fiddle. I know there's some cross cutlasses. There's a fouled anchor. There's 20 volumes in the set, so there's 10 of symbols in sequence, and then they start over again. So they run through twice. And the cover. Some examples of the illustrations. This one has a bookmark because, like I said, I'm reading it now. I'm on chapter 7 there. Really, really like them. I've read a lot of sea adventures in my life. I started off on the Horatio Hornblower novels, C.S. Forester. We'll get to those eventually. It's on a bookshelf across the room. So I read a lot of McBook Press nautical adventures. We'll be getting to them. Julian Stockwin, Dudley Pope's Ramage series, Alexander Kent, Douglas Freeman, who are actually the same person, just passed. Douglas Freeman novels were set often in World War II, and when he wrote his Alexander Kent, the Bolitho novels, they were Age of Sail. So we'll do a lot of those in the future, and a lot of other things, and we'll move on in this shelf next time. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.